With us on the line right now is a gentleman by the name of Kalen Fretz, a fellow libertarian and friend of mine, and he's got something that he wants to tell our listeners. Kalen, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Adrian. First of all, I just wanted to say Alex definitely won the rant competition.
Yeah, well, you know, when it goes to being loud, he always beats me in that category, so, you know.
Well, it's a beautiful day here in the Panhandle, and first of all, Adrian and Alex, guests and listeners, thank you for having me on the show this morning. My name is Kalen Fretz. I'm a Christian, a small business owner, and I currently serve as the vice chair of the Libertarian Party of Okaloosa County. And as you alluded to, Adrian, it's my pleasure to announce here on 1787 Network for the first time that I, Kalen Fretz, will be running for U.S. House of Representatives as a Libertarian here in the 1st Congressional District of Florida.
Outstanding, outstanding. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have the second Libertarian U.S. congressional candidate for the 2012 election cycle in Kalen Fretz. And Kalen, why don't you tell us a little bit about your platform and why you're running for office, what you think needs to change in our federal government?
All right. Well, we're running on 3 basic principles: individual rights, free markets, and limited government. Your basic libertarian platform. We basically believe that we need less government and more private industry, more free markets. For the past 100 years, we've had the Federal Reserve printing money and devaluing our currency. We've had the government increasingly becoming involved in private industry and the free market, and basically taking our civil liberties. And we believe that's a problem, and we're going to do everything we can to stop it.
Now, you're running against Congressman Jeff Miller. Can you tell us a little bit about your competition?
That's correct. My opponent, basically, since taking office about 10 years ago, has been complicit in almost tripling the debt limit. It was right around $5.5 trillion when he took office. Now it's over $16 trillion. He has voted for the Patriot Act, the Real ID, just an assortment of different assaults on our civil liberties. And an interesting fact, I don't know if you might be aware of this, he supports the Republican repeal and replace plan, but the repeal and replace plan actually keeps the pre-existing conditions mandate.
Which we all know will lead to much, much higher health care costs across the board.
Exactly, and eventually it will kill the private industry and lead to a single-payer system. Right,
it's just a longer path to that. So, yeah, the Republican repeal and the replace is not much better than the Obama plan, quite frankly.
Exactly, and we all know Republicans don't dislike socialism. They just dislike it when it's not Republican socialism.
So what do you think the government should do to improve health care in America?
Well, I believe basically the government should step back and get out of the way and let the free market work. You know, for a couple hundred years until the government really became involved, we had a pretty good healthcare system. We had private insurance. We had, charities and churches and family and friends would all take care of anybody who was sick and couldn't afford to pay for their own insurance. And now, you're not allowed to buy insurance across state lines. That's one thing that the government should change. And basically it should just continue to get back out of the way, let the free market work.
Yep, absolutely. And, it's funny, a lot of young people I talk to, they don't have a good grasp of how things used to be in this country. Those of us with a few gray hairs understand that, it's there used to be in this country, nobody had comprehensive health insurance. You went to the doctor, you paid the doctor bill. The doctor charged a reasonable amount, made a good living. I mean, doctors were in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Doctors still were some of the wealthiest people in the community, but they charged a reasonable amount and people paid the bill. Maybe you had a major medical plan, a hospitalization plan, or maybe you didn't. And nobody was dying in the streets. We had mercy hospitals, charity hospitals, Catholic hospitals, things like that. We took care of our own. And I think, Kalen, you're absolutely right. If the government just got out of the way, we could go back to a system like that where people can afford health care, and those who really can't afford the lesser cost of health care that the free market would provide, there's a place for them to go, and that's private charity.
Exactly. And as you've seen, over the past, few decades at least, the more the government gets involved, the more guaranteed and easy money the doctors and the medical industry has, and therefore your prices go up. And that's why you see, every time somebody gets a sniffle when they go to the doctor, well, that increases the prices in the long run. So that's why we're now paying, probably 10 times more than we were 20 years ago, and it's just going to continue to go up and up. Right.
Now, Kaylin, a lot of libertarian-minded people, and the economists who aren't, totally corrupted by the system and completely in bed with the federal government and the Federal Reserve System, agree that one of the most critical things to turning our economy around is ending the Federal Reserve System, stopping the cycle of fiat currency, the cycle of inflation and potentially hyperinflation that comes along with it. So I wanted to get your thoughts and your position on the Federal Reserve System.
Absolutely. About 100 years ago, the Federal Reserve was created. In my opinion, 1913 was probably about the worst year in America's history because we had the Fed and the 17th Amendment and the income tax all together. But the Federal Reserve has since then devalued the American dollar over 97%, I believe. And they just continue to print money willy-nilly. Basically, we need to end the Fed. We need to end this special privilege for the banksters who can just play with our monopoly money and, basically devalue our savings overnight.
Yep, absolutely. So you would vote in favor of auditing and ending the Federal Reserve in all cases?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's talk about your stance on a couple of other issues. As you mentioned earlier, there's over the past decade and actually the past several decades, but specifically since 9/11, there has been just a broad assault on our civil liberties, starting with the Patriot Act, the Real ID Act. Basically, the Fourth Amendment is gone in this country. What would you do as a United States congressman to maybe get some of our inherent God-given rights back from the federal government who have taken them from us?
Well, I just think it's a travesty. When I go to the airport with my family or my any of my close friends, especially if they're female and they have to go through these naked body scanners or else get felt up by a government agent, what they do would be illegal if they weren't the government. And when I am elected, I'm going to go up there, and I just want to be a voice of reason calling out in the wilderness. I want to go in there and call people out and say, look, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution. You are violating that oath, and it's time to turn the tables, bring back the Fourth Amendment, bring back the Fifth Amendment. And what I'd really like to see is some of the states start exercising their rights and nullifying some of this unconstitutional federal legislation and bringing back their citizens' civil liberties.
Absolutely. Well, Kaylin, sir, I can't thank you enough for stepping up to the task, for becoming a citizen statesman, for running for office. It's a huge challenge, a huge task. And, I very much appreciate you stepping in. So Kaylin Fretz, United States Congress, District 1, that's up in the panhandle of Florida. Kaylin, how can people donate and volunteer for your campaign?
Well, we have a few different ways. The website is fretsforcongress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The email is info@fretsforcongress.com, and people can donate on the website. There's a donate via Purix.com, and you can also send checks to P.O. Box 42, Valparaiso, Florida, 32580.
All right, and again, that's Fretz, Fretts, for CongressCongress.com. Listeners, please go there now and donate to the campaign. Sign up to volunteer. Tell your friends. Do whatever you can to help Kalen get elected, because without Kalen and folks like him, libertarian mindset, we're not going to be able to take back our republic. So, Kalen, we'll have you on the program again. Thanks for joining us, and just best wishes to you, sir, and thank you for your stepping up.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Adrian. Have a good one.
All right. We've got to take a break now. You're listening to Liberty Underground, and we'll be right back.